Actually, in Australia, I couldn't understand why people bought the Mazda 23, the Mazda 3.
SP23.
Yeah, SP23.
Careful,
Why?
I may know some people who...
Why would you buy the SP23? It has the bigger engine.
Nice.
It's got the bigger engine over the 2-litre, but it costs so much more.
It is.
That is why I can't understand. If you're going to buy one, buy the second hand, not first hand. Otherwise, you are an idiot officially. Apparently, yeah, it's got the usual
new engines, all the same.
Blah blah blah.
Dynamic things.
Nothing fantastic.
New ashtray. Anything.
Look, the MPS is the one you should be looking at if you're going to buy this.
It's the fast one.
It's the fast one. It's got more power as you'd expect. I think it's got an extra 20 horsepower. Can't find.
So that'd be up to 160.
I heard someone.
So that must be the most powerful car Mazda makes then.
Yes, possibly, and probably could embarrass an RX-8 driver as well, which makes you wonder
what the RX-8's.
Yes.
It's a rotary, so it's a washing machine. I'm sorry, I have a...
It does need a turbo. The RX-8 needs a turbo.
Very large mistrust of the rotaries.
It needs a turbo. Look, but unfortunately, it's also Australia's best-selling car at the moment, which is better than the Corolla. Thank you, Australia, for not buying the Corolla and making this the best-selling car.
It's also quite unique as well as the best-selling car, which is essentially in its run-out phase. I mean, it's replaced in 2 days or something.
That's right, this is the new car that's coming out.
It's still selling like hotcakes. That's very rare.
I mean, in all fairness, it's not a bad hatch. It's roomy inside. I don't like the way when you turn it on, the dash, above the stereo, it's got a little display that says welcome. That pisses me off, and as well as a smile. That's just not kosher. I want a car to be a car, not an appliance to say thank you for buying me. And reminding me of that fact that I'm driving yet another dreary Mazda in my life. I
think it's a good car. I think that you could do a lot worse than buy one of those if you're looking at a new one. Yeah. Just be prepared though that if you do buy one now, there will be 150 million others in about 6 months. So it's not going to be even slightly distinctive or exclusive.
And if you're one of the Australian population buying one now, I have a question for you. Why? Why not just wait for the new one? Looks a bit better, probably drives a lot better, and it's going to be a bit more
refined, more updated.
It's got the usual...
And you're about to lose a huge amount of money on resale as well, because there's a new model coming out in 12 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. So let's move it on to another piece of sad news.
Yes, this is it's a bit of a cult hero of mine. This isn't actually a car, this is a person.
It's actually a piece of really important... This is pretty...
This is one of the most, well, certainly I think you'd say the most controversial car designer of our times. It's Chris Bangle, BMW's chief designer for, well, he took the back seat to, I promised I'd practice saying Adrian Van Hooy.
Hooydonk.
Adrian Van Smith will be taking him at your Dutchie. Dutchie's fine. Chris Bangle. We digress again. Chris Bangle has been the chief designer of BMW for he's around 5 years before taking a back seat to Adrian Van Alphabet, and he was responsible for some very
controversial.
Yes, the 7 Series.
I'm going to tell you a little anecdote. I remember the first time I went to the Adelaide Motor Show when it was held it was still at the down the Royal Showgrounds, but when it was in the old halls. And I remember walking in, the first stand you see when you walk in was the BMW stand, and you walk in, the first thing that I saw in the metal was the new BMW Series, 7 Series, face on, and you know when you vomit just a little bit into your mouth?
Oh, like there's a reflux.
Yes.
Gastric reflux.
There was a bit of that.
There was
a little 2001.
See, I thought that was a really distinct car, but
distinct for all the wrong reasons.
But that hasn't dated.
I will give you that.
7 years old, hasn't dated a date. Very popular in Asia as well. There was a huge emerging market for them, and they've sold an absolute ton.
Do you know why they've been successful over there? They've got a different way. For us, to be seen successfully drive a Ferrari or a Porsche, in Asia to be seen successful, you have someone else do the driving, you sit in the back. So if you drive a big sedan, or not drive, own a big sedan, someone's driving, you're sitting in the back, true sign of success. That's why Porsche 911s don't sell. Saying that, there's a guy in Beijing who loves Porsche so much he has a driver drive himself to work every day, and he sits in the back of the 911.
He must be a very little man.
Well, they are.
I don't know if you've seen the back seat of a 911. It's
you could fit a child.
Not really.
As long as they've had their legs chopped off.
You can fit an amputee.
Yes, amputee of a child into
both
the back.
legs, though, not just.
So they must be very little fellows indeed. Yes. So,
but Bangle, he was as I said, truly controversial. I really like him because I think there's too many boring cars.
Undeniably.
Too many cars that are just made without any flair or passion or anything
He
like
brought
that.
flair back to Fiat. Remember the Fiat Coupe?
Yeah, the Coupe.
Oh, that looked
with the
magic.
knife slashes and the wheel lashes and stuff.
And a good engine as well.
Probably get a picture for this episode so people can actually see it.
I remember when I stepped off the train at Rome, walking down the road, Fiat Coupe, you look at it and go, that's
another car that hasn't dated.
It hasn't. That's mid-90s, early 90s. We probably designed it 1991, mid-90s. And that's getting up to 20 years old, and still, you could put that onto sale in somewhere like Australia where Australians have never seen it. And you could put it in your car, and it'd sell.
Hasn't dated an inch. Fiat Coupe, Google it later, after we're finished. Anyway, sorry. Bangle, again, that was another Bangle piece, but Bangle, I think he sort of changed BMWs from, they weren't exactly boring before, but they were quite sort of conservative and not very evolutionary in their design.
They were more refined. You can see, they're like Porsches, there's subtle evolutions each series, and as they go along, they get more refined, but they also retain their desirability, I thought. But as Bangle said, I remember reading an article, he said, the BMW series, by that point, the 3, 5 and 7, was like a sausage, just cut to a different size.
Yeah, they'd done all they could with it. They needed to inject something, and I think, with hindsight, I think that he did a magnificent job. He made BMWs interesting, made conversation. I mean, people were still talking about the 7 series and the 6 and various other ones for years after they came out and arguing about it.
Still are.
Who was talking about the A8 6 months after it came out? The Audi.
I was, but that's because I like it.
But with normal people talking about it, I mean, it looks nice,
you'd see an A8
but it's just
go by.
a big Audi. A 7 series is a...
You'd see an A8 go by, and it suffers from what BMW suffered in the 90s. It looks like an A6, just that longer sausage. But it is nice.
I mean, whereas you've got the 7 series, which looks kind of, all kind of weird and makes you frown a lot, and then you've got the Z4, which looks like it was sort of partially set on fire and then attacked with an axe. And you just have... For
me, though, the hero of the BMW lineup, the Bangle, 5 series, without a shadow of a doubt.
Nah, 6 series.
5 series.
6.
5.
He's talking crap. Anyway, as I said, he's actually left BMW. He's actually leaving the car industry to pursue his own design-related endeavours beyond the auto industry.
So he's leaving auto design altogether?
Yes, apparently, according to this. I mean, that could be code for any number of things, from, I slept with the boss's wife and I'm being kicked out, to I've taken too many drugs and have slightly, suffering mild
I've lost
damage. Or, I've kind of lost my creative juices and just want to, draw paintings with my feet for the rest of my life. It's
could be anything.
Designers, as I'm sure you could appreciate, being an architect,
We're
creative, focused.
We're a funny lot.
And
alcoholics generally. Cheers to that.
Anyway, Chris Bangle, true visionary.
Yes, what a shame.
And it's a great shame.
It is a shame,
that he has departed the auto industry. Over to you.
Thank you.
Are you going to be sensible, or are you going to talk about something stupid?
Let's go silliness. Recently, on a website I like to go to for automotive silliness, called Jalopnik. I don't know if I actually had to say that out loud before.
Just make something up.
Jalopnik.com. They do funny stuff. They talk about the silly side of automotive nonsense, which the two of us certainly appreciate. Now, this is something... I'm going to flick out the pictures while we're going through this. They did a recent how-to on it was a student from MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, recently worked out how to hack those big road signs that you see on the side of the road saying caution, accident ahead, or caution, things might be happening.
Caution, pointless information currently being displayed.
Yes, or you can get it to do caution, zombies ahead.
That's nice.
Zombie drools. Raptors ahead, caution.